Hello everyone, this is Jian Zhang. In this video, I'm going to talk about the class project I designed in this semester. As you can see, I call my app as Quick Grab. First, let's focus on our project idea. The project idea came from my personal experience, and the objective of this project is saving our time. Let's imagine a scenario that you guys probably have. Suppose you spend about 10 minutes on the way from the classroom to the restaurant or to the MU in campus. And then you might spend 8 more minutes on waiting for your food or waiting for the order, right? And then in total, there's a 20 minutes you need to waste. That's a lot of time you wasted. So, how can we improve it? So why don't we order our food on the way to the restaurant, and then once you get there you can grab your food and enjoy your meal. Amazing, right? And next one, this is my app view. I'm going to briefly introduce how my app looks like. And this is the login view. In the login view there's two buttons here. The first one is login and the second one is sign up. Once you click up the sign up button, it will takes you to the sign up view, and you need to enter some information like emails, username, phone, and password to create your own account. And all information will be stored in your core data in your device. And then once you create your own account, you need to enter corresponding username and password correctly and click the login. Once you click the login, my app will check the username and password is it correctly you created before. And then once you log in successfully, it will come out our main view. In our main view, there's a map here. Once you log in here, the map will assess your current location, and then will display some restaurant nearby. And there is a table view here. In the table view, it will list all the restaurant nearby and will for you to select the restaurant you like. And then once you select a restaurant like Burger King, you will go to the restaurant view. In the restaurant view, you can select what kind of food you want, what type of food like burger or beverage, size or coffee. And then suppose you select the burgers, it will take you to the meal views, and which you can select what kind of burgers you want, like hamburgers or cheeseburgers, whatever you want. And then we will take you to the detailed meal views, which you can select this meal or single using the segment control here. And then once you select one of the meal, and you need to add to the cart. Once you add to the cart, it will go take you to the order list, which is order view control. Order view views. In the order view, you can check the list you ordered, and then you can check the price or the estimate time, and nothing worries after you finish checking, and you need to check out. And once you click the checkout, it will take you to the feedback view. In the feedback view, you can rate how the service goes and leave any comments here. And also, you can upload a picture of it, so how the food take and how the food looks like, and you can submit it. That's my app view here. So next one, I'm going to talk about the class diagram. I divide my class diagram into two parts. The first one is view controllers. Here is my view controller. All the view controller are inheritance from UI view controller and UI test view delegate. In here, which is my login view, the view controller is my login view. So once you click the sign up button, it will take you to the sign up view, and then in the sign up view controller, you can create your account and sign up your account. And then once you log in successfully, it will take you to the restaurant view restaurant view, which will fetch assess your current location and then update to the map, and then list some restaurant nearby into the table view. Once you select the restaurant, it will take you to the detailed restaurant view. In the detailed restaurant view controller, you can it will fetch the menus into the table view, and then once you select any any food you want, and then it will take you to the menus view controller. And in the menus view controller, it will fetch the meals into the table views, right? And then after you select any meals in the table view, it will take you to the meal view controller, which you can select single or meal there. And then once you add once you click add to the cart, it will take you to the order view. In the order view, you can view check order you placed, and then once you check out, it will take you to the feedback view. In the feedback view controller, it can handle the pickup from your photo library or from the camera in your device. And the next one is my model class diagram. First, I'm going to talk about the users. In the login view and the sign up view, it will fetch the in the sign up view, you will create your own account, right? So each account will be stored as each user entity, and then will be stored in your core data. And then once you using this once you are in the login view, and the users will fetch all the data from the core data as each user entity, and then it will check the password and the username is it correctly is it correct or or, or corresponding username and password. And then there's a three type of model are using the same idea. The first one is the restaurant. Each restaurant will be stored in the restaurant entity. There's a restaurant name and restaurant pictures, and also there's a menus in like what kind of food you select, right? What type of food, like burgers or sides. Each one will be stored as our menus entity, and there's a name and picture for it. And also there you can select a meal, like single or meals you want to select, and there's a price and the meal price, and each entity will be stored into corresponding array. Like restaurant, we can use restaurants class to store all the restaurant, and use menus class to store all the menus, and using meals class to store all the meals. The final, once you place your order, and when all the food will be go to the order list, right? And then in each food you will be updated into each order, and then each order will be stored as core data. Because once you close the app and open again, you can see the what you ordered before, right? And then so that's why I'm using the core data to store all the data here. And then this is my overview. This is the overview of my class diagram. Next one, I'm going to talk about the MVC diagram. So MVC, I use MVC to design my project. So MVC is the most important part here. In the view, there's a lot of table view here. So in the view, you will display a map and some table views and pickup views, and also will display some outlets like text field or buttons there. And then once the user click any buttons, and the views will pass data source to the controller, and then controller can easily to handle what kind of button you click, like login button, sign up button, add to the cart button, or checkout button. And here, once the view controller handle the data, it will update to the model, like users and order list, right, and menus on meals or restaurant, and those data are in the model. So for the users or the user list or the order list, will using the core data to store some user information and order list information. And then once the view controller take the views or take the action from the views, and can easily pass it to the model, and then in the model it will update the data and pass it to the view controller and pass it to the view. So what can we do using my app? So as I mentioned before, I can order our food online because this is my objective of this project. So we can place order or order food online, and we can search restaurant nearby because sometimes the restaurant not shown. You need to search what kind of restaurant you want to go. And then I use web API call the weather, and the weather will update it using the web API. So there's several limitations here. So first, because I didn't use web API call to the menus, so all the menus will be stored in the JSON file that I already entered. So the menus cannot be updated. I cannot change it. Besides, I need to change my JSON file to process more menus. And then, because for my objective of this project, I can only order fast food because in campus there's always about 19% of fast food restaurants in campus. So I decided to order fast food, which you can grab your food easily. And then I didn't implement the store information because there's a lot of restaurant, and also I didn't find any resources that I can use web API call to fetch store information. So I don't have any store information here. And then next one, I'm going to briefly summarize the lessons I learned. So first, the most important one, I learned how to use MVC architecture to design my project. And this is the most important for taking these classes because MVC stands for Model Views Controller, which is the important one for us to design any program or any app. And then I learned how to use JSON file, how to process and how to manage JSON file in Xcode in Swift automatically. It will process our JSON file. And also I learned how to use web API call to get some information I need. And finally, I learned how to handle all the data, like like in this app, like restaurant meals or menus, how to handle all the data and then pass it to the table view. Then when the user check using my app, they can clearly see what they can choose in my table view. There's a several suggestions from this app. So first, I didn't implement using Firebase, which is, I think, um, um, which I think is tedious, like boring, you know. Using Firebase, I can check our comments. Like when the user submit their comment, I can check the comments in the servers in the Firebase. And also, I didn't find any resources for menus using web API call. So if I can improve it, I will spend much more time on searching some web resources that I can use for the web API call for the menus. And for this class, because in the last 1 or 2 weeks, the professor just spent about 1 week to talk about using Split Kit, which is the most interesting part in this class. I think we need to spend more time on teaching how to design a games, like design a games in the mobile. You know, in nowadays, mobile is more useful than a laptop. So we usually play games on our mobile. So I suggest we need to spend more time on teaching how to design the games, something like that. And that's all for my presentation.